Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss discrete time Fourier transform, that is DTFT. As you already know the concept of continuous time Fourier transform, the same concept will be used in the analysis of discrete time Fourier transform. In continuous time, the Fourier transform is represented by x of j omega, and it is obtained by considering the Fourier series representation of continuous time periodic signal, for which the period was considered to be infinite. Then the envelope obtained by the samples of Fourier series coefficient is called the Fourier transform of continuous time signal. So we can say that the Fourier series representation of periodic signal converges to Fourier transform representation, and the considered periodic signal becomes aperiodic. So in discrete time Fourier transform analysis, first we write the Fourier series representation of discrete time signal. Here we have represented the discrete time representation, or we can say that the Fourier series representation of a periodic discrete time signal. So for the analysis or for the representation of a periodic signal, that is discrete time Fourier transform, consider two signal. One is xn and second is x cap n. This xn is a periodic signal and this xn is periodic with period n, and it is repeating over the interval n. For the representation of this discrete time signal, we have used the Fourier series representation, or we can say the discrete time Fourier series, and it is represented by x cap n is equals to summation, and this summation is defined over an interval, that is n ak e to the power jk 2 pi divided by capital N into n, where ak is the Fourier series coefficient, right? As you can see here in equation 1, when we talk about continuous time Fourier series representation, there is a difference between this discrete time Fourier series and the continuous time Fourier series. The continuous time Fourier series, the summation is defined for infinite time, but here the summation is defined for a finite value. This is the difference between the continuous time Fourier series representation and the discrete time Fourier series representation. Now you have to find the Fourier transform of this representation. So to find the Fourier transform of a discrete time Fourier series, what we considered? We considered that this n is the interval. We consider that this n tends to infinity. When this n tends to infinity, then this x cap n becomes xn. So we have the Fourier transform representation. So here we have considered that when n tends to infinity, then this equation becomes, or this coefficient becomes 1 by n summation n is minus infinity to plus infinity xn e to the power minus jk 2 pi divided by capital N into n. When k is multiplied with this factor 2 pi divided by n, it means it is still in discrete, right? Now when the value of n increases means the time period increases. As the time period increases, then in frequency domain these Fourier series coefficient become closer to each other and create a continuous spectrum. Then this value is replaced by this summation. This summation represent the continuous spectrum. So here from equation 1, when n tends to infinity, then this equation 1 takes the form of this equation, equation number 5, right? So as n increases, this k omega naught becomes omega, and here also k omega naught becomes omega, and equation 5 becomes this, xn is equals to 1 upon 2 pi, and this summation becomes integration. This summation becomes integration, and is integration is defined over an interval of 2 pi. X of e j omega is x of e j omega is this part. So this part is replaced by x of e j omega and the equation becomes this. So here we have two equations. One is this and second is this. This is the I dt/ft, inverse discrete time Fourier transform, and this equation represents the discrete time Fourier transform. Right? Then you have to learn these two equations to find the discrete time Fourier transform or inverse discrete time Fourier transform. As we studied the various convergence conditions in continuous time Fourier transform, similarly we will have the same convergence conditions in discrete time Fourier transform. For the existence of discrete time Fourier transform, this condition must be satisfied. So when we talk about discrete time Fourier transform, we should know the similarities and the differences between the continuous time Fourier transform and discrete time Fourier transform. One similarity between discrete time Fourier transform and continuous time Fourier transform is that in frequency domain, both the transform are continuous. But the main difference between DTFT and CTFT is that this discrete time Fourier transform is periodic with period 2 pi in frequency domain. But in case of continuous time Fourier transform, it was not periodic. And this property of periodicity of DTFT can be proved and is shown in this slide. That is here. This property shows that the discrete time Fourier transform is periodic in nature. We will explain this property later on when we will discuss the various property. Now come to the various examples. Now this is the first example in which you have to find the discrete time Fourier transform of the given signal xn is equals to delta n. Right? So take the formula. Here we have derived this formula. This is the discrete time Fourier transform. Take this formula to find the DTFT. Here we have written this formula. Xn is delta n. Put this value of delta n here and apply the impulse property. So by applying impulse property, this impulse is existing at n equals to 0. Put this n equals to 0 here. Then we have 1. Right? Now now you have to draw the magnitude spectrum of this function. When you draw the magnitude spectrum of this function, you take the magnitude of this and it will remain 1. So this is the magnitude spectrum. 1 means it is constant for all frequencies and we can say that it is independent of frequency. So this is the discrete time Fourier transform of this discrete time signal existing at n is equals to 0. So here we can also see that here the signal nature is discrete, but here the signal nature is continuous time. Right? Now come to the second example. In this example, you have to find the discrete time Fourier transform of the signal xn is equals to an un. In the question C, I have written find the Fourier transform of the causal sequence. So when you find the Fourier transform or anything else, first you see the nature of the signal. When n is described, it means the signal is discrete in nature. So apply all the discrete properties that you have studied. So here you have to find the discrete time Fourier transform. Write the formula of discrete time Fourier transform. Replace xn by an un. You have replaced it here an un. Now apply the limits. Here un is extending from 0 to infinity. So take this un to this summation and the limit will be from n is equals to 0 to infinity. And this becomes an e to the power minus j omega n. Open the summation. When you open the summation, it will produce a GP. For the GP here, you can write a upon 1 minus r. A is the first term and r is the common ratio. Using this formula, you can write x of e j omega is equals to 1 upon 1 minus e to the power minus j omega. For mod of a is less than 1. Right, now you have to draw the magnitude spectrum of this. So to draw the magnitude spectrum, you have to multiply this signal by a complex conjugate. here we have described by multiplying the complex conjugate and solving and separating the real and imaginary part. We have this function. This is the real part of this function and this is the imaginary part of this function, and then find the magnitude. To find the magnitude, we take the square root and the real part square plus imaginary part square, and solving we will have 1 upon under root 1 up minus 2a cos omega plus a square. Now you can see at omega equals to 0. At omega equals to 0, cos 0 is 1, the function becomes 1 minus 2a plus a square. Under root of 1 minus 2a plus a square can be written as 1 upon under root 1 minus a whole square. So at omega equals to 0, the value is 1 upon 1 minus a, right? Now at omega equals to pi, the value will be 1 upon 1 plus a. Okay. Now as we have discussed that the discrete time Fourier transform is periodic in nature, then after pi, what will be the nature? It repeats after every 2 pi interval. So we will also calculate the value at 2 pi. At 2 pi, omega equals to 2 pi. When we put omega equals to 2 pi, again we will have the same value at omega equals to 0. It will repeat over every 2 pi interval. The same value repeats after every 2 pi interval, and it will be continuous in nature. But in case of continuous time Fourier transform, it was not continuous, right? So all these are the discussion of DTFT. Similarly, you can solve the various examples using these two formulas of discrete time Fourier transform or IDTFT. Thank you so much.